What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to everyone and anyone who supports anything that we've got going on. Special shout out to all the students from By the Hood University, as well as the youth from the By the Hood Ownership Camp. We appreciate you guys tremendously. But I got my partner in crime with me as always. Core, what's up, good brother?
What's good, man? How's everybody doing? Welcome to 22. Every day is a good day to be alive. We never gonna complain about being alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But as you folks know, our show is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are putting out positive energy, doing tremendous things, and is doing great work in the community. We want to make sure we talk to them, get them to tell their stories, and just spread love. And this brother that we got on right now, man, I like his story, right? First and foremost, shout out to my brother, the finance rebel Kamari, because he hit me up and was like, yo, you got to get this brother on the podcast. His story is amazing in terms of the work that he's doing. Went and looked into this brother, Michael Sneed, we're getting ready to bring on. Now, this brother is proof that just adding value to the marketplace, you can achieve a lot in business. So I'm not going to tell a story, but I'll let our brother Michael Sneed from Appliance Boot come on. Mike, how are you, good brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thank y'all for having me on.
Oh man, listen. We talk to people from all walks of life, doing all kinds of things. And when I heard your story, I was like, man, that's interesting. We never had anybody on that's found a way to add value the way you have. With Appliance Boot Camp. So, to make a long story short, you basically have found a way to create revenue repairing appliances, and we're going to get into that. But let's start with your background. Where are you originally from, born and raised?
I'm originally from a little small town in North Carolina called Stovall, North Carolina. I think we had about 800 people there, population of about 800. We had one stoplight, but the guy who we call pulpwood truck, it's like a log truck, ran on top of it and ripped it down. So we didn't have after that, we didn't have the one stoplight. I grew up in a little rural area, Stovall, North Carolina.
Man, what's that close to? So a lot of people probably have no idea what that is, but what big city is that?
The closest place you'll find is probably Raleigh, Durham. From Stovall, it's about maybe 45 minutes to an hour from Raleigh.
Okay, so you're close to Raleigh. All right, cool, got it. In terms of, so what kind of student were you coming up?
A C student at best. All the way until I got to probably my sophomore, junior year in college. I was maybe a C student.
Now, were you always good with your hands? Like, is that something that you always were good at in terms of using your hands?
Oh yeah. I always been mechanically inclined. I think my grandfather started with my grandfather. He could fix anything, and helping my grandfather and my father growing up, fixing stuff, working on cars, fixing stuff around the house, doing construction work. Just was natural to work with my hands.
Okay, all right. So that's something that you've always been good at. All right. So in terms of colleges, you went to college. What college you go to?
I went to North Carolina A&T State University.
HBCU.
Yeah, HBCU, the best one it is too. Went to North Carolina A&T. I majored in electronics and computer technology. I flunked out my first year. The first year I was there, the first semester I flunked out. I started off with 17 credit hours, I think. At the end, I had maybe 3, one class and a lab, and I had a C and a D in both of those. I had a partial scholarship I was on. I lost my scholarship. And my father came up and took me away from college. Told me he didn't even pay the first semester, but he told me I had to work and pay back those people money that I messed up going to school before he'll let me go back to school. So I had to go. He took me out of college, made me go to work at the Burlington industry with him, at the cotton mill with him. So I had to go work with him at the cotton mill to actually make enough money to pay him back for the money I messed up before I could go back to college. So I set out a semester and a half, paid him his money back. He let me go back to college, and that's when I really started to buckle down with my schoolwork then.
So in that first semester, when you was the partying, going to A&T, what was it?
Yeah, great, Lord. Yeah, I'm coming from a small town, like I tell you, 800 people, and everybody there your cousin. I get to North Carolina A&T. You got young ladies from from DC, Maryland with their vibe and style. You got young
Gotcha,
ladies
gotcha.
from Atlanta. You got from the Bahamas. You got all across the world there.
So let's
And
just say you were distracted your first year, right?
yes, it was. So then, not only that, but like I say, when I grew up, I had to cut the wood to heat the house. I had to mow grass. I got the A&T. I didn't have to cut no wood, didn't have to mow no grass. Man, I had a ball. They had to make me come home for Thanksgiving break and stuff. My parents had to make me come home for Thanksgiving break.
Oh yeah, so you were just having fun. Okay, got you. All right, so in your journey, right? So now your father makes you go work at the mill. You get the money to pay him back, but then you go back.
Right.
So I guess the mentality shifted after working at that mill that you wanted to like buckle down. Is that what happened?
Correct. Made dean list after that.
Interesting. So was it the hard work at the mill that made you buckle down, or you just didn't want to have, you just wanted to stay at school? Like, what was it?
It was the hard work at the mill and the embarrassment and the realization that how quick all that could be taken away from you.
Okay.
You working at the mill and you cutting cotton all day with a pair of scissors, and you go home and you got all this lint up in your nose. You don't sweat it. There's no air conditioning in that cotton mill, in that big warehouse, and you don't sweat it so much that your underwear might have been white when you left that morning, but now they blue. Depending on what color jeans you had on, you don't sweat it so much to dye from your jeans and change the color of your underwear. And so you had that, and then I had also the embarrassment where everybody asked and say, "Hey, I thought you were going to college. What you doing here?" And you got to tell everybody, "Oh, I flunked out." And to realize that could have been my fate. That working at the cotton mill the rest of my life could have been my fate. So I was just ready to get out.
Okay, so you did your thing. Now you made the dean's list. What were your plans while you were in school? Like you talked about your major. What were your plans? Like, did you have any plans? Like when I get out of here, I'm gonna go do this.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to be an engineer. Ever since I was a little kid, I always told my mom I was gonna be an engineer, especially with A Different World and Dwayne Wayne and all that. Everybody, just about every African American child when I was growing up wanted to be an engineer. We didn't know quite what an engineer done, but Dwayne Wayne was an engineer. Everybody wants to be an engineer.
Yeah.
And I had my older brother. He was an engineer, so it really gave me fuel to want to go do that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go be an engineer when I graduated from college.
So when you finished at A&T, what was the next stop in your journey? What was immediately after college?
Immediately after college, I went to work as an engineer, a company called Data General. I was a test engineer there, and after there, I left and went to a company called Nortel. And I was an engineer there.
Okay. So let's talk about Appliance Boot Camp. How do we get from as an engineer to what you've built with Appliance Boot Camp? What was that story?
It goes back into college. When I was in college, I worked at Sears as an appliance repairman. And during those days, my roommates and all my friends, they kept telling me, "Hey, Sneed, man, you need to just quit college. All you're going to ever do is repair appliances." I was like, "Nah, man, once I graduate from college, I'm never repairing another washer and dryer." But the whole time I was in college as an appliance repairman, I always had plenty of money. I had a motorcycle. I could go to Freaknik. I could go to Black College Week. I could go to I could go down to Bike Week, and not only could I go, I could take my friend. I could get my friend hair done. I had a lot of money. I graduated and became an engineer, and that was the poorest I ever been in my life. Engineer. Here it is. When I was in college, I could have 2 or 3 girlfriends and get the hair done and travel. And I get married. My wife got to wash her hair in the sink, and I got the clippers trying to get myself edge up. I didn't have enough money to make it from day to day. From week to week. It was the poorest I ever been. But I was working as an engineer. At that time, the .com burst happened, and when that happened, all the people who was working for anything dealing with the internet, we was making switches. So my job, I said I got fired, but they call it a grift or laid off. I told people it don't matter. Same thing, you're not getting a paycheck. So I got fired and laid off, and I went looking for work. I just got married. My wife and I had just built a house. We just had our first child, and I'm trying to find work. And I'm going around to different companies asking them, can I work for free? If they give me a job, I'll work for free just to prove myself as an engineer. Then maybe I could get a full pay, they'll bring me on full time, and I couldn't even work for free at that time as an engineer. But I would come home and I would talk to the construction workers, the guys who were the plumbers, the electricians, the HVAC people, because I was in a subdivision where they were building new homes, and they would be mad and cursing because they hadn't had a day off in 2 or 3 years. And the more I talked to them, I found out they was making more money than I was as an engineer. And so I said, something's wrong. Here it is, this guy can barely speak English, and he's making more money, and he's working. And here you are, a college graduate, and been working as an engineer. You can write all this C++ and Visual Basic and design circuits, but you can't even work for free. So I asked some of the contractors around there. I said, hey, if I go get my contractor's license, could I wire some of the houses for you? I was fortunate enough to be one of the last generation that came through high school when they still had the skilled trades in there.
Okay.
Where you could take auto mechanics, brick mason, electrical wiring. I took electrical wiring. The time that I took in high school with electrical wiring and working with the electrical teacher, my electrical teacher, working with him on the weekends and during the summer when I was in high school, that gave me enough time where I could actually go and sit for the state exam. I wouldn't apply to take the state exam. At that time, you can only take it like once or twice a year. I started studying. I got the entrepreneur bug. I had told my wife and everybody, I'm not going to be begging nobody for no job. I'm not going to give nobody that much control over my life again to be able to tell me when I can work and how much I can work. So I decided then I'm going to start my own business. And we're going to the grocery store. And I grabbed a small business magazine and I opened it up. And they had on there the top businesses to start. And the very first one at the very top was appliance repair. And when I read that, the light bulb went off. Even though I was out of work and I was going around begging people, could I work for free? I was still repairing appliances every day. My friends and family and my neighbors was calling me every day to fix their appliances. And I just won't charging them. And then the light bulb went off. So, man, I can start my own appliance repair business. So we went over there to a place called Office Max, and I printed out some flyers. We went to a neighborhood. I put the flyers on the door. By the time we got back home, back then you had an answering machine. I had enough messages on the answering machine to make it to the next week and make it throughout that week. And that's how I started my appliance repair business.
Man, I got a couple questions based on everything you just said, right? Mm-hmm. First question is, you talked about high school, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this, like back in the day in high school, mm-hmm. you would be able to take a trade. We had a lot of, so we're from Philadelphia. There were a lot of good trade schools here. And they took it out of school the same way they did where you're from.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on them taking that out of the high school? Do you think that was a mistake, or, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, the biggest mistake they ever done. Because what happened prior to them taking the trades out of the high schools, in North Carolina, you had about 40,000. We had about 40,000 licensed electrical contractors in North Carolina. Currently, they got about 10,000, and the average electrical contractor is above 55 years old. So what happened? They cut the pipeline off, and you had nobody to step up and fill into those skilled trades, and you don't get exposed to them. So the other thing too, in high school, you might not have been on the track to go to college, but you got exposed to brick mason, auto mechanics. You got exposed to residential wiring, carpentry. And some people who like to work with their hands, that's where they excel at. And with that, you can actually go out here and you can earn a great living. But now the high school kids don't know anything about it, never been exposed to it, don't know the potential money you can make at it. And then they, on top of that, now they started to look down upon the skilled trade. If you were somebody working in skilled trades, you weren't smart enough to go to college. Or you won't make any money. And they started pushing everybody to go to college, even if they didn't have the capacity to go to college and to complete the curriculum. The parents didn't have no money to send them to college. So now you forcing all these people to go to get into these student loan debts and stuff, where they'll go to college and don't even graduate, and they're coming back to the community. $60,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt, and no viable trade to go out and make money.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely can't beat that.
Yeah, and you know the crazy part is, right? So being in real estate, I know what I pay my roofer, my electrician, and all that, and a lot of them living better than me. Like, so it's a lot of money in the trades. But I feel like a lot of times we fall in love with titles and things, right? So to say I'm an engineer, you just talked about being an engineer and not having any money, right? But in our community, we fall in love with titles way too much.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Such and such, or I'm, I got this degree. Like we fall in love with these things that at the end of the day, a lot of times don't produce value. Not everybody. There's no one size fits all thing, but for some professions you would need that. But the one thing you said that I totally agree with is it didn't even become about the aptitude for the person. Like we know some folks aren't college material, and yet we still try to push them through that. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. You know what I mean? So now let's back to your story though with Appliance Boot Camp. So now you figured out that, okay, I'm already doing this stuff without charging. Let me set up this business. And you talked about having enough business after that, a couple of days for weeks. Like your answering machine was full. So you continued to build Appliance Boot Camp out from that point. When did you realize, like, okay, I'm really on to something? This doesn't even have to be a little hustle. This can be a full-fledged business in my career. When did that kick in? Or were you still trying to go back the engineer route because that was in the back of your mind?
No. Once I started my appliance repair business, I was about 28 years old when I started my business. By the time I hit 30, I had retired. I was retired. I had enough employees and stuff. I didn't have to work anymore. I was retired after 30. And so at the time, I needed to get more workers. And I wanted to get the younger kids that were in high school and middle school. I wanted them to actually come work for me. And so I started going to the parents and say, hey, let your kids work with me during the summer. And during the summer, they could work and I could pay them $10, $12, $15 an hour. And then once they graduated from high school, now I could go and start paying them $20, $25 an hour. Instead of them going to college and come back after they got $60,000 or $100,000 in student loan debt, and they come back, then you only work $10 an hour to me to train me. So I asked the parents that the kids work with me, and a lot of the parents told me that the kids couldn't work because they didn't have time. I said, they ain't got time? What they doing? They said, well, they play sports. So in order for them to play football and basketball for the high school, they have to go to workouts during the off season. They have to pay people to work them out, the coaches and the assistant coaches and the AAU coaches. They work them out. And then when they ain't working out during the week, on the weekend, they're going out playing travel basketball, AAU, playing 7-on-7, I guess it is, football. So they don't have time to work because the parents are trying their best to get them to get a scholarship in football or get into the league. So I told them, I said, well, what day do they not playing football or basketball? And they told me Sunday afternoon. I was like, okay, bring them to my shop. And I actually pay them to let me teach them how to start their own, how to repair appliances, because I was showing people too, all my friends and family, anybody I could get to, I was telling them the potential in appliance repair and the skilled trades, how much money I was making, all the stuff I was able to do. I was just ringing an alarm, telling people, y'all got to get into the skilled trades. We so much money to be made here. So nobody was listening to me. So I started from the money I make from my appliance repair for my business, I started doing buying blocks over in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I go to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, buy a block of houses. The houses won't for like $3,000 or $4,000. So I just go buy a block and start renovating them and flipping them and renting them out. And at that time, a lot of the rappers started then talking about buy back the block and all this and that. I ain't seen many of them doing it, but they're talking about it. And at the same time, a YouTuber, Mr. JT Hustle, at JT Automation now, he came and we was doing a story about buy back the block. And I told him I had to get back because I had to teach these high school kids. He came, he saw that, he recorded that, he liked that better than he did the stuff about the real estate. And so he put that on his channel, and then from there, he asked, he put it on his channel. He got a lot of feedback from people who wanted to come and learn how to repair appliances. I told him it wasn't worth it. Don't nobody want to do this. Nobody likes the skilled trades, but he kept pushing it. We need to you need to teach these people how to do this. So we put together, I put together a program. I told him, I said, I'm gonna teach people how to start their own appliance repair business. I had so many people who had came to me who had lost their job, and they needed to make their mortgage and stuff. And they'll work with me for about 2 weeks. I'll show them how to start their own business. They'll go out and they're making $100,000, $150,000 a year repairing appliances. I had done it so many times. I knew I could do it if somebody stayed with me for 2 weeks. I didn't know if I could do it in a weekend. So I told them, I said, I'll put together one for the weekend, and I'll show them how to start their own appliance repair business over the weekend on a Saturday and Sunday. That way, they don't have to take time off from work. They can come, learn the business, go back to work, and they can work their way out of their job and have their own business. So I put the course together, and we sold it. We had so many people buy it that the banks thought we were running a credit card scam. They locked up our bank accounts.
Wow.
We had the guys come. At that time, we had guys come from all across the country. I thought it was just going to be local guys coming from North Carolina. The night before our class, we sitting there getting ready for the actual class to start. Just getting our stuff together the night before. We have this guy come in, and he's peeping around the corner, and he want to know how many people in here. We said just 2 of us. He was like, all right, and he's nervous. And then he asked us and said, y'all ain't gonna rob me, are you? We were like, nah. He said, well, all my friends said y'all getting people down here, y'all gonna just rob people off the internet. We was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So he sat down, we started talking. So then I asked him, I said, where you from, man? He said, I'm from Detroit. I said, Detroit? I said, Michigan. He said, yeah. I said, you got on a plane and you flew all the way to Detroit? He was like, yeah. He said, that's what my friends told me y'all was gonna rob me when I got here. So I went home that night, and I couldn't even sleep that night, because I was thinking, I said, man, I got all these grown men coming here from all across the country, and I'm going to teach them how to start a business in a weekend. And at that time, those first classes we had, those were grown men, 45 to 55 years old. Mm-hmm. They're starting to approach retirement, and they realized they didn't have enough set aside to retire. They had kids that was getting ready to go to college. They didn't have enough money to put their kids in college. And all they wanted to do was be able to make an extra $500 a week. That would have put them over where they felt like they could get past their dilemma that they were having.
Yeah.
So, I had these grown men who've been working in factories, working in auto factories and stuff. Hey, man, you ain't lying to me. I can make an extra $500 a week doing this stuff. I said, yeah, you can do it. If you lying, I'm coming back down here. So I said, yeah, you can do it. So they left after that weekend. I didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks. Finally, the same guy named Juan who came in there looking, he called me back and he asked me, he let a dishwasher repair. I was telling him how to fix it. And so then I asked him, I said, hey, were you able to make that goal of 500? He said, yeah. He said, I've been able to do it. I said, oh, that's good. I said, you doing it per week? No, I'm doing about that a day. So
wow.
I said, have you talked to anybody else in the class? He was like, yeah, how they doing? Everybody doing about the same. Everybody doing good. It works. So, I hadn't started a business from scratch in appliance repair in almost 20 years. So some of the stuff that they had changed for new companies coming in, they told me the little small changes they made. I called JT back and I told him, I said, man, we got it. We got a hit. I've made the changes, and from then on, we've been putting it out. And right now, we got over 1,500 people who have came. We got, I don't know, thousands of people who have quit their jobs and running appliance repair businesses who make over $100,000 a year.
Man, that's powerful. That's powerful stuff right there, fam. Like,
you changing families.
Yeah. And the question I have though is, right, so you figured out this thing that changed your life. Mm-hmm. What was it like? Was it something that you were raised to do? Like you said, I gotta help others. What was it to make you say, look, because you could have just, figured this out for yourself, went and lived an amazing life and never put anybody else on.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide I'm going to teach this to others so they can help their family?
I had some business partners. I had 2 Indian business partners, and I saw how they were moving. One time we had a used appliance store, and I had 2 partners from India in there. And every weekend they would come around, them and their friends. It'd be like 10 of them, 10 or 12 of them in minivans and SUVs, and they'll come around to the store, and we'll go over the books and just go over how the week went. And then they'll leave, and they'll go to all the other little businesses and buildings that they own. So one Saturday, I asked them, I said, man, what y'all doing? They said, we ride around, go look at our different projects. I said, man, I'm riding with y'all this Saturday. So I get in the van, and I ride with them, and we rode a whole day. And we went all across Wake County. We went to shopping centers where they had Food Line shopping centers. We went to medical parks where they own medical parks. We went to, we'll go to a whole side of town. I mean, a whole side of the town, and they owned it. And we drove all day Saturday, and we didn't get to all their projects that they had going on and all the stuff that they own. And they'll go back on Sunday too, doing the same thing. And when I saw that, and I saw that we're pretty much the same age, and I thought about what my friends were doing, and I said, man, we in trouble, because my kids got to go compete against their kids in years to come, and my kids and grandkids are not going to be able to compete with what they're doing. And at that point in time, I won't thinking about creating wealth. I won't thinking about buying assets or nothing like that. I was just enjoying life, trying to go to coffee houses, playing guitars, buying crazy stuff, and just blowing money. I wasn't thinking about building no wealth. But after that, that was a reality check that I realized that people out here ain't playing. We the only people out here playing. And that was a wake up call where I said I gotta get my people woke up and shook and say, hey, if we don't make a change, we done in this country.
Yeah, because they're giving their family a head start. They're gonna be born into assets of businesses and buildings and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah,
man. But that's some powerful stuff right there, man. First of all, I just want to salute you for the work that you've done.
Yeah, man, you're doing
it's
amazing
not just about what you
work
do for yourself, but you're changing lives. Already 1,500 people have come through your camp. So your camp it still exists now. People still can come and sign up for your camp if they like, right? How often?
They can sign up now. Matter of fact, I got a class going on this weekend. So, we have online version, and we got the hands-on version. The hands-on version, I just can let you see. This is building. That's one of the alumni that we call him Slick. And he just purchased 40 acres of land. So we're going to be doing a little thing together coming up where we're going to be doing like building tiny homes. So we're going to have like a skilled trades work camp where people can come out and show you how to build tiny homes. But yeah, so they still come here. We have the online, the hands-on. Alumni are doing great. If you turn on to YouTube or anywhere and you look at anybody, especially African American, who's doing appliance repair, more than likely they done came through Appliance Boot Camp.
Yeah, and you have a channel as well that we want to make sure people subscribe to your channel and see this work that you're doing, because man, it's some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
The question that I have is, if someone was interested in like going to Appliance Boot Camp, how much would it cost? Like a new student that's watching this video and says, "Man, I could do that." What kind of upfront cost would they have?
We have a payment plan, $199 a month. They can get in with that $199. You get access to all of the videos instantly. Not only do you get the appliance repair business, but you're gonna get the dryer vent cleaning business. How to clean dryer vents. I got a young man that I was talking to earlier today. I'll be talking to him again Monday. He cleaning dryer vents. He just landed a contract for 330 apartments. He's gonna clean them in 2 weeks. It's gonna be $18,000. So I teach you how to start a dryer vent cleaning business. I teach you how to do a blender repair business. The blenders that you see at Tropical Smoothie, Smoothie King, Starbucks, those blenders are about $1,500, $2,000 a piece. I teach you how to fix those. You get the appliance repair business. Not only do you get the appliance repair business, you get the garage door installation and repair business. I have an ice cream parlor where I make homemade ice cream. You'll get the ice cream parlor business, and then you'll get my real estate business. As soon as I go full speed into real estate. So anything
Okay.
that I do to earn money, or I have done and ran businesses in the past to earn money, you'll get those actual businesses, and their videos you can watch. If you want to come to and it's a total of $1,700 for the
Okay.
online. If you want to come to the actual hands-on event, where you actually come here and you come to the actual to my academy and actually work on everything hands-on, that'll be 3,000, and we have a payment plan for that too, $300 a month. But with that 3,000, you get all the online videos also,
Okay.
and you can go out there and you can actually start making your money and pay for it. Most of the people who take the course, I'll be honest with you, they start off when they come to the hands-on live event. They say, I only way because we've been taught the only way you can learn is in the classroom. I know me, I gotta be right in the classroom. Okay, I want you to go ahead and start your business before you come. So you get the online version, and then from the online you go ahead and start your business. And then when you get here, I can just clear up questions that you have. Kind of like when in school you do your homework at home. Then when you get to school, the teacher help you figure out stuff you didn't know. By the time it's time for them to come to the class, most of them send me an email. Hey, Sneed, man, I'm busy. I got too much work. I know what I'm doing. I'll catch you later. I don't need to come to the class. I'm good. I got my money. Most of them call me up and say, hey, I want to go ahead and clear my tab, man. I got enough money. After about the second month, they got enough money to pay the rest of the courses. I want to go ahead and pay all my. Let me go ahead and pay all my money, and I'm not going to come down to the class, but I want to support somebody else. So I give you some money to give to somebody else. No,
Nice.
that's what normally happens.
That's something we may have to do in the future. Course sponsor somebody to go now. In terms of your in person, is that like once a month, once a quarter? How often
Once
do
a
you do it?
month, we do it once a month.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Oh man, so this is amazing work you're doing, good brother. Like first of
Yeah,
all,
man.
like I'm sitting there thinking about the money I pay to have appliances repaired, like ovens. Like
Yep.
to
Yeah.
me, it's always oven. I always pay a grip for
Mhm.
ovens. Always, as a landlord,
Uh-huh.
like it's always an oven.
Uh-huh.
Ovens and dryers. Like so,
Uh-huh.
yeah, man. I sit in. I'm thinking about it. Like that's how y'all making all that money because it costs it costs money to repair appliances.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I keep telling everybody. People don't know appliance repair is the last of the skilled trades that you can still get into without a contractor's license. So, the
Oh,
good old boys got HVAC, plumbing, and electrical locked in. In order for you to get a plumber's license or electrical contractor's license or HVAC license, you gotta go work for a company for at least 5 years, and then they gotta sign off and tell the state that you don't work for them for 5 years, and then you can
okay,
go take the test. So if you're lucky enough to get them to sign off on your papers, then they got the test in front of you, and they got less than a 2% pass rate. So they got people there. That's their job, is to make sure you don't pass that test, because the most people that pass if they make a lot of people get a contractor's license, the value of my electrical contractor license goes down. So they got to make sure that they just keep a steady flow of people in, so everybody can maintain their profits and stuff. So,
gotcha.
electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, that's locked. But appliance repair doesn't require a contractor's license. But you make just as much money as if you had a plumbing contractor's license, an HVAC, or electrical contractor's license. So now's the time to get in. And what we're doing, we're actually getting in, and we're going out and making our money, building our businesses, and we're looking for the next generation. We're gonna be able to tell our kids and our grandkids that you got one that's pretty smart, that have the capacity to learn. You're gonna tell him you're gonna have to go over there, and you can go to college or whatever, but after college you're gonna have to go over there and work over there at ABC HVAC for 3 to 5 years, so you can take that test. Okay? And once you pass that test, you bring that license over here to my company. So now
Exactly.
once we get that license into your company, you straight. So now your family good, because now whenever you got a nephew, niece, or grandson or daughter who have the capacity to take the test, you put their name down and let them go take that license test. And once you got the license in that company, you good. You good.
Yo, that's amazing. Strategy right there. That's powerful,
like
man.
that's how you build for generations. That's
Yeah,
actual generational wealth.
You got this thing thought out, man. This is I'm getting excited about this, man. But listen though, let me ask you this question. So, you've had this journey, right, where you wanted to be an engineer. You talked about actually achieving that goal and then realizing it wasn't what you thought. And now you've created this thing where you're changing not just your life, but the lives of families all across the country. Throughout this journey, though, what would you say has been your biggest hurdle or something that you had to overcome to get you to where you are today?
The biggest hurdle that I had to overcome was when I first got into entrepreneurship, especially being an African American and being the first person in my family who is an entrepreneur and leaving corporate America as an engineer and stuff. The educating them what an entrepreneur is and the ability of it. Unfortunately, a lot of people it's cool now. Right now, it's cool to be an entrepreneur. But 15, 20 years ago, that was the worst thing in the world to be was an entrepreneur. People thought that you couldn't cut it in corporate America. You look at the cartoons when we was growing up where they show Mickey Mouse out there in the factory working and slaving. Then they'll show some boss sitting in the office with his feet up, smoking a cigar, counting money. And then, my parents grew up and working in the cotton mill and they had supervisors and they would come home complaining the supervisors are lazy, don't do no work. And so that was the hardest thing where I was learning about how true wealth was being created. And then I wanted to educate my people and not having nobody I could talk to and being made fun of. I remember sitting around one holiday season, and the family wanted to come up with a way that they could make some money. And I said, okay, here go my chance to shine. So I was telling them, hey, let's come in and let's go buy these houses. I was buying houses for $3,000 and $4,000 at the time. I said, let's come in, start an LLC. Everybody put their money in. We go out here and we buy these houses and stuff. We'll flip them. We can rent them out. And I gave them the plan of what I was doing. Man, that's stupid. And what they came up with, everybody's gonna put in like $10 to buy lottery tickets. And I had to sit there and take that. I had to make. Like I said, I used to be called. They used to call me Kanye West. They said, "Here come Kanye West with that crazy talking." So I had to take all of that, and their thing was every week everybody put in $10 and they go buy lottery tickets, and if they hit, they're gonna split. Honest.
Wow.
Oh,
It's crazy.
That really hurt when especially when I'm sitting there beside these guys and I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing my business partner. They're building a civic center in Mooresville, and he came there with a model, a 3D model. And here I am sitting there with my kids and stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just doing the basics, teaching them their multiplication table. Now he done sat there with his daughter, and he bring it into the store that night, and he's showing me what him and his daughter had been working on a civic center 3D model where you pull the top off. You can see the best. They had a civic center. They're gonna have a concert stage. They're gonna have basketball courts. He had shown me that's what they had built, and that's what they were building in Mooresville. And I was asking him, I was like, so what y'all gonna do there? He was like, well, we won't get no money out of it. We won't use it, but we're gonna let you all have y'all AAU basketball games there, let y'all have concerts there to pay for it, and then my kids and stuff, my daughter and them, they'll be able to do what they want to with it, that generation. So I was happy to see that, and I'm thinking, oh my God, we're in trouble.
So you must like what's like actually going on now, because it seems to be some sort of a renaissance. Well, first of all, the internet made the world smaller because as someone who grew up loving business, investing, like numbers, real estate, I understand what it's like. It's lonely. You have no one to talk to. Everybody around you is looking at you like you're insane.
Yeah.
But now I have people all across the country, who I met in person, know now that I can talk to about business. So the internet is a big game changer. So what is your feeling after going through that, like that lonely phase of entrepreneurship, to now being able to have your own students and people that you can talk to about business? Like, what does that feel like?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I like I say, now I got I have partners. I got people, like I just say, one of my partners just walked in, one of the alumni, Slick. Like I said, he just bought 40 acres of land, and we're sitting down, we're talking how he could develop his land, and not only are we, it ain't just talk. No, we got the cash to put in there to get it done. We got the knowledge base to go there and fix the stuff. And so we sitting there talking that. Now it's cool now to be an entrepreneur. Where now people are waking up to the student loan debt. People are now seeing. I give a lot of credit to about maybe 10, 12 years ago when Dame Dash done that interview on the Breakfast Club. That right there made people really come to it. At first, everybody thought he was crazy. He's stupid. He's talking crazy. But you look after he made that. You look at those people at that Breakfast Club. Now they try to talk like Dame. Same one that was talking crazy to him about it. Now they try to emulate him. Talking about they businessmen. You need to have your own thing. You don't need to work for nobody. And what you saw there with Dame is what I had to go through every day when I got around friends and family, and multiply it times 10. I had to go through that all the time. But now I have thousands of alumni who call me, and they're calling me because we talking business. Like I said, I had a guy I talked to last night, talked to him again this morning. We're working his cost of doing business. And like I say, he just grabbed the well. He got 300 some apartments. We got to make sure that he's getting a good bid, and that they give him a good contract. So we're working those numbers. Seeing them buy real estate, seeing my alumni, and seeing them actually put together schools, seeing them actually mentor people, seeing them being the industry leaders.
Yeah, so you've built your own tribe, right? And that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to like find your tribe. Yeah. Once you find your tribe, sky is the limit. Yeah. So this story is very inspirational, man, and there's a lot of stuff here. Corey, you got something you want to say, good brother?
I'm dumbstruck a little bit because I know it's people out here doing the work, but for me, changing thousands of people's lives and then creating your own business partners, like you are a living example of what in a micro sense of what we should be doing in a macro sense. And like for me, I'm like, this is great. Like, like you've built what we're building. And so, I'm really, excited and proud, like, how I've never met you and I'm super proud of you. And I don't even know, I know nothing about you. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm proud that somebody's doing the kind of work.
Someone that looks like us. And I think that's important to say,
what I mean? Like, we've met a lot of people on this show that have done a lot of amazing things. And this is, this podcast has given me an opportunity to meet and talk to people who are doing absolutely amazing things. It gives me hope, right? Because at one point I felt hopeless. I was like, man, we are absolutely doomed. And then seriously, this podcast gave me hope because it's like, okay, there are people that are make sure that we're not going to go down without a fight. We're not absolutely doomed. And so I want to say thank you first and foremost. And then after thank you, I want to say I'm super proud of what you're doing. So, I don't even know what else to say after that.
Yeah, man, that's good work you're doing, good brother, man.
I appreciate it, man. And proud of what you all are doing, man, getting the word out. I love what you all are doing with doing it with real entrepreneurs and real people doing it. That's one of the things that I think happen with us. We don't get to see real entrepreneurs and real business owners. And now that these guys, I wish they would give more shine to the alumni and show them that they're real business owners. They're not riding around in those suits. I mean, they ride around in Lamborghinis. They're not dressed up in those suits and ties. We was laughing. We was at a conference last week over in Tampa Bay, and we was laughing because we're skilled tradesmen, and we walk around looking like bookmen from Good Times, dressed like that all the time. But all of us have money. We have money, could do what we want to. but we give a false impression of what entrepreneurs look like. And I tell people all the time, I go to meetings with, I know multi millionaires all the time, some even billionaires, and I haven't yet to see one of them in a suit. This past week, I was in there with with the commissioners and everybody that in here, everybody in there had huge businesses, lots of money and stuff. No, everybody had on like jeans, khakis. Nobody was dressed up in no suit and tie.
Yeah, see what we're taught about wealth is all marketing because it gets us to spend money. Corey and I sat down with a billionaire a couple of weeks ago, and this dude looked like
the plainest plain dude. Like my man had on a regular scarf, he had on a jacket, he had on his sweater vest and a pair of khakis and a pair of loafers. You couldn't pick him out of a lineup as a billionaire.
But here's the thing, though. I think a lot of that is all marketing, right? So since the time we're born, we're marketed to and told what a millionaire, what money looks like. And a lot of it is to get us as people to consume. So now we want to consume the things that we think rich people have, right? But it's about adding value to the marketplace, which is why I thought your story was so important. And shout out again to our brother Kamari, because he's right. Yeah, because he's right. Because he hit me like, yo, you got to get his story on there. He was like, this is amazing. And he's right because, a lot of our folks are real estate. A lot of us are in finance and a lot of that. But some of your story resonated because we've had these conversations about the trades and how they've taken the trades out of schools. But there's so much money there. There's so much money in the trades. And I didn't even notice until you just told me, you show people how to make it without even having to go through the steps of the life. Like you still can do this without having to get those licenses. That's some powerful stuff right there, man. You hit on a gold mine, man. Like, but let me ask you this though. What is, if you had to go and think about like your journey and all that, what would you say is your favorite book or a book that's inspired you along this journey to get to where you are now?
Up from Slavery, from Booker T. Washington. I read that. That's one of my yearly reads, and I actually kind of built this right here based upon what he done with Tuskegee. If I was to take you into the front room where you come in, I actually have handwritten letters to Booker T. Washington hanging on the front in here. I want that essence and that spirit to be in here, where he actually came in. And he looked at what was wrong with when they bought that land in Tuskegee. They actually had to look and that land was barren. It wouldn't grow anything. They had been putting crops they've been doing like cotton and tobacco for so long that it took all the nutrients out of the land, and so the land couldn't produce anything. And so what he had to do, they gave him the land. He needed land, and so he brings Dr. George Washington Carver in there. George Washington Carver, his first thing was, hey, we got to repair this land first. We got to get something to bring nutrients back into the land to repair it. And then after we repair it, then we can move forward. But until we can fix this land, can't move forward. So that's why he started planting peanuts and soybeans and sweet potatoes. And up until then, peanuts was considered a waste, like wild onions. Didn't nobody have nothing to do with it. But he knew that brought the nutrients out of the air and put it back in the land and repaired the land. So he had to have them. So now after they planted all these peanuts and stuff to fix the land, he got to figure out something he could to do with all these peanuts. So that's why he started creating those products, the vaccines, the peanut butter, and all that. So now he got something he can sell the stuff off and make the money back. And that's where we kept going. And I look at us the same way. We have been stripped of all the nutrients within our culture and everything. We're barren. We're barren people. Now I look at the skilled trades as like those peanuts that I'm planting it back into our people to bring the nutrients back. Because if you got the skilled trade, you now if I'm in the skilled trade, I'm a force to be reckoned with. Because I don't need you to come. These buildings I got. If you go look at my old YouTube channel and stuff, these buildings they was run down. The whole town was ran down and rotted down. When I came here, I paid $15,000 for 2 buildings, and they were totally messed up. And I took 2 guys, 2 high school guys off the street who didn't know how to swing a hammer or scared to climb on a ladder. And we brought these buildings down to the studs and put them back ourselves. And not only that, now that I got that skill set, now other businesses coming here, and they're gonna revive the town. I got one of my friends just bought a building across the street, put a fish market in it, because now we are skilled in skilled trades. Myself, and not only that, I have a skilled trade business to give me the cash flow and the money. When he got ready to put his fish market building in there, he bought the building. The building needed to be renovated. I went in and renovated the building, paid for the material, paid for the labor, everything. Told him, hold your money, man. I'm good. You hold your money and put it towards your operating account. And I want the business to thrive. You ain't got to pay for nothing. I got everything you need. All the materials and all the tools, all the knowledge. I can do it myself. You ain't got to go ask nobody for no loan. You ain't got worry about no contractors coming in here. And we're gonna do it in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, he had his building up and running, and didn't have to come out of his pocket for nothing.
That's amazing.
That's what the skilled trades do. They allow you now to be able to come to your friends and stuff, and be able to build houses, renovate houses. Like I mentioned again, Slick. He bought 40 acres of land, and he don't want to have to cut his land up and sell off acres and stuff to finance building a house or do whatever to make money with the land. So we go out and we figure out a way that he can make money with the land. We got another guy too, Mike. If Mike listening, Mike bought 20 acres, and so we going out figuring out how they can make money on that land and keep the land. And we come together. All of us got we got the skill set, and everybody got the finances. And because we run businesses, we got time. We got time to go work on it together. And
y'all getting your own reparations. Y'all creating your own. Y'all buying your 40 acres yourself.
But that's what's funny. That's what the alumni said. They said Appliance Boot Camp is reparations.
Yeah, man. That's man. Listen, Corey said it all, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say but to salute you, because this is an amazing story. So what does the future look like? What does the future look like for Appliance Boot Camp? Are you looking to continue to do more of the same, or is there anything else that you're looking to do in the future?
Yeah, eventually, I think we have another year of creating entrepreneurs. So what happens? I think that black colleges and stuff kind of got it backwards, where they bring students in there to actually train them and give them all these skill sets and stuff, but they don't have nowhere to go plug that skill set into. So now once you graduate, now you gotta go beg somebody for a job. You don't have no alumni, I don't know businesses and none of that. So you ain't got nobody to look out for you coming out. So now, right now we got over 1,000 or so business owners, and now we got a serious demand where they need technicians. So now next year I can be able to turn the switch over and go to the high schools and stuff and tell the parents, hey, instead of you sending your kid over there spending $100,000 and he ain't gonna make no money, bring them down here to Appliance Boot Camp. When you come to Appliance Boot Camp, I guarantee anywhere he want to go in the country, I got somebody ready to take him, and I know that person that's going to take you. And that person know your son, your daughter. They know what your son and daughter need, and they'll give them where they need to be at.
Man, listen, that is funny you say that, because Corey's actually said it to me before. He said a lot of times when these kids go to these HBCUs, he said, but we failed them because they have nowhere to come home. We were talking about finance degrees, but it's the same premise. It's like they get the degree, but when they come home, we have no. We didn't provide a place for them to go.
Yeah. I helped build 2 young men and to help them along their college journey. They went to schools and they got finance degrees. They wanted to bring that back into the neighborhoods, and they couldn't find a job that paid them more than $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so they literally had to go shoot. One had to go to Chicago, and one had to work for a bank in New York to be able to make those finance degrees worth what they paid for them. But they literally came back into the hood and struggled for a year because they couldn't find a black business to work for. Because when I was helping them build and try to get those degrees, I said, listen, you're not getting those finance degrees just for you. You're getting those finance degrees for us, for the community. And they came back into the community, and we had nowhere to put them. I didn't have anywhere to put them. I didn't have systems built when they came back. And so even though they did what I asked them to do, I felt like I failed them because they had to scatter across the country to be able to feed their family.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so now, you know what I mean, what you're doing like that for me, I was like, dang, I wish I had done it that way. But a wish, we can wish all day.
Yeah.
From this point forward, you know what I mean? Like, I have an example right in front of me of how, you know what I mean,
How to set the play up. Yeah, how to set the play up. Yeah.
Run the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, absolutely. So, all right,
yeah,
man.
and eventually, and believe it or not, we're getting to the point now where we are needing to get some of the advanced degrees. Because now we're getting into, we have multiple businesses, we have a lot of stuff that we're doing, a lot of moving parts. But now, if we had a accountant, like now, I've been having this discussion with my wife, where this thing where your kids say, hey, I want to go to school and major in social work. You can't do it. We need an accountant because somebody got to be able to do these books. I'm tired of paying a CPA. So grandchild, something, hey, I'm gonna pay for you to go to school. You going to school to be an accountant. Same thing. We're now we're doing a lot more real estate. We're doing a lot more real estate. I'm tired of every time I want to get something done, I got to pay $5,000 to get some drawings done to an architect engineer. Hey, we doing 2 or 3 buildings every quarter. I got enough. I could pay an architect to handle our stuff, especially if we dispersing out. If everybody's doing it, we got enough to support a good black architect firm. And now we're in business, and like I said, skilled trade does all of that. Make all the other careers necessary.
Yeah. So man, you got it all figured out, man. You got the whole plan mapped out for you, man. So this is powerful stuff, man. So I just want to say, continue to do the good work. You are appreciated, and we're going to make sure we share the story, man. We got to get some folks down there from Philadelphia to go to the Appliance Boot Camp, man. So we can.
I work at a high school. Just for
okay. All right. Thanks. Good stuff, man. You're doing a great job out there. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So listen, Mike, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. It's definitely appreciated. And we're going to make sure that we put the links to everything you got going on within the description so folks can check you out. Also, check out the YouTube channel as well. That's powerful too. So, but man, much continued success, and keep changing the culture, man. This is good stuff, man. Thank you.
Thank you all too. Keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all doing great work.
Yeah, appreciate that, brother. And for our audience out there, make sure that you follow Appliance Boot Camp, see what it's got going on. Maybe you want to go down there yourself and get started because you see how this can be beneficial. Last thing I gotta ask you, Mike, before we get out of here though. You talked about the real estate piece, how you were buying up entire blocks and things like that. How's the real estate business been treating you?
So far, it's been good. I've sold several pieces last couple of weeks, and that's doing good. But like I told people, the real estate is really my retirement. I'm not going to know if I make the right decision until like another year or so. So at 50, I'm turning on my real estate. I'm getting away from some of my appliance repair business, and I'm using the real estate as my retirement. So as I depend more on my real estate to support me, I know in the next couple of years if I made the right decision. So I want to turn it on at about 50, 55. So if I got to make some tweaks, I'm still young enough to get back in there, make some tweaks before I really need it.
Listen, man, you own the land, man. Everything comes back to land, like Booker T said that. Everything comes back to the land. So you made the right decision. Yeah. All right. So listen, for our audience out there, make sure you follow everything that's going on with Appliance Boot Camp. Make sure you check it out. Check out the links in the description to see everything that Mike has. Share this episode. Whether you're listening on audio, watching the video, just make sure you share it. And we'll stay in touch with you guys. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates. We'll see all you guys in our next episode. Peace and blessings.